So how's it going, guys? Mike with Firelock Games here, and I want to give you a quick breakdown on how Port Royal works. So we've got two factions here. Grab these sheets and see if we can get them in focus. So we've got the Forces of the Crown, which is the British Navy, Army, and militia that are in Port Royal, and then we've got the Jamaican pirates, which are like the remnants of the Buccaneers sailing out of Port Royal. So these are just some campaign sheets with all the stats filled in. And we've got these two forces just arranged here. There's 5 plunder tokens on the table, and the primary objective is to get those, and then when you're playing in a campaign game, you're going to want to take as many of those as you can because they're going to give you more loot and more, basically more points towards the campaign and more things to buy and be able to increase your forces. So the game's going to break down in 3 main phases. It's firstly the initiative phase, then it's the action phase, and then it is the end phase. So initiative phase, we're just going to bid for initiative, see who goes first, and then the action phase, each side's going to go with their force, and then the other side is going to go with their force, and then once everybody's gone with all their models, then we go into an end phase and we check scoring and status of things. So first thing in the initiative phase is everybody's going to gain 6 fortune points, and we're going to track them with these fancy doubloons here, and each side's going to bid secretly how many coins they're going to put toward their initiative. However many coins go toward the initiative, that's how many dice you're going to roll up to 3. So 3 is your biggest bid. So let's say we're just going to do 2 and 2, which seems to be the popular choice at the demos here today. So this side for the pirates, we're going to roll 2, and their best is a 10, and for they're also a 10. I didn't remember what the other number was, so we're just going to roll again. So English have a 10 and a 6, the pirates a 2 and a 2. So they're going to get the first initiative. And they each lose their 2 coins, and we'll go from there. So it's an I go, you go with reactions. So all these models are each going to go. You're activating one model at a time, and during each model's activation, any model that can see it from the opposing force can attempt to make a reaction at the end of the model's action. So we'll start over here with that guy, for example, and move. The basic actions are to move, shoot, reload, rally, etc., things like that. So we're going to go with this guy, and a move is always 4 inches. Every subsequent move after that is going to be 1 inch less. So if I spent 3 actions on moving, it would go down to, it would be a total of 9. So, first was 4, then 3, then 2. So these coins that we didn't use, we're going to be able to use these for different things. So one of them could be to give models extra actions. Models typically get 2. So our first one is going to be to move to this piece right here to try to pick it up. And now we check to see if anybody can see this guy. So this guy right here is going to have line of sight to him. So he's going to attempt a reaction. So he's trained. So your training level dictates how many dice you roll for an experience test, which is what you need to do a reaction. So experienced models roll 2, inexperienced will roll 1, veterans will roll 3. And the target number is always a 7. So we're going to look for 7s on him, and we got it. So any 1 dice will do it. So he's going to go ahead and take advantage of that, and he doesn't have any shooting weapons, so he's just going to take a move action to try to get over here and be close to that. So for this guy's next action, I could pick it up, but I could also swing around this way on the move to stay in contact with it. All right, and I'm going to shoot there. You can pre-measure anytime. So now, I'm going to spin a coin to take a 3rd action to fire. So now, nobody can react anymore because you can only react once per model activation. So I can do all these next things without having to worry about any activations. So we see that the range is less than 8 inches. When you're shooting a musket, every 4 inches makes it 1 harder to hit. So at 8, it's just under 8, so it's only a +1. So we're gonna go on their stats, right? So here we go. So this guy's a midshipman. So his shoot value, this is his fight, this is the shoot, resolve, and their experience level. So there's 2 numbers for shoot. The first number up here is the offensive value, the second one's the defensive. So it's going to be a 7 with the +1 penalty for range, goes up to an 8. So now this guy over here, he is the bosun. So the bosun has a shoot save of 7. And he will have cover because that wall is between us there. So he gets to use his shoot save. If he was in the open, he would need, it's a +2, so he would need a 9. So we roll these at the same time. It's an opposed test, and every time you do an attack, you always roll 3 dice with one of a different color. The different color is your critical dice, so that can affect critical hits and failures and things, which we'll go over if we get them. So he's going to roll his attack. He needs 8s, and he got 1. So 1 hits, these will go away. And then he's going to roll his saves, looking for 7s. He gets 2. So now at this point, we determine whether or not we're going to spend coins to try to re-roll our test. So we always starting with the attacker. The attacker determines if they want to re-roll. So if I say yes, which I will for the sake of this demo, I spend my coin and I'm going to re-roll. Now, the defender has a choice, or the target has a choice to re-roll as well, but with 2, probably feels pretty good about sticking with 2 saves. So now, these 2 saves are going to stick, and he re-rolls his attack, and does worse. So he fails the attack. Anytime you fire a black powder weapon, take a reload. You cannot fire it again until it's cleared. And I can take no more actions with that guy for now because he's hit the cap of 3. So now I go on to the next model, and I'm basically going to continue doing that. So we're going to move, let's say, so we want to move this guy 4 inches right here, right? So now we've got a few reaction options. That guy can see. This guy over there could probably see him. And this guy could definitely see him. Now he's within 4 inches. So he could, as a reaction, just charge that guy if he felt like it. So we're going to try that. So he's trained again. We're looking for 7s. We got it. So this guy's going to get charged. So fighting is exactly the same as shooting. The difference is we use our fights. So the bosun, we'll look to the bosun again. The bosun is a fight of 6. And these guys are soldiers. So soldiers are a fight save of 6. So this is dead 6s across both sides. So here's the bosun's roll. He has 1 hit. Got a 10 there, and the soldier gets no saves at all. So we're not going to re-roll just to go over how hitting works. So for every hit that isn't blocked, you get to roll a damage test. So a damage test always has a target number of 10, but you can reduce that with bonuses. So such as if a model took fatigue, for every point of fatigue it has, it would take a bonus, and the weapon strength. So a lance has a special rule that if you charge with it, you can basically skewer somebody, so it gets a bonus of 1 to its normal 1. So it's going to get a bonus of 2. So on an 8 total, since the 2 brings the 10 down to an 8, I will cause that model to become a casualty. And a 4 doesn't do it. So what happens, a hit is still a hit. He still struck him with his spear, so he's going to take 1 fatigue automatically. For every failed wound against him, he's got to take a resolve test now. So the soldier's resolve, here's soldiers. Soldier's resolve is a 5.
Skirmish.
So I need a 5 or better. 5 or better to avoid getting another fatigue. A 3, so I do not. So he does take 2 fatigue. So a quick note on fatigue. What fatigue does is, aside from making you easier to kill, because it's kind of a combination of wounds, morale, and just physical tiredness, different types of things. So for every fatigue you have, you're easier to be hit, or to not to be hit, but to be killed by a successful hit. Additionally, 2 or more fatigue means that when you activate that model, instead of getting 2 actions, it only gets 1. And it also gets a +2 penalty against reaction tests, so it only reacts on 9s instead of the normal 7s. But other than that, it's still in the fight. If you're up to 3 fatigue or more, you're shaken. Shaken models can only take rally actions when they activate. So all they can do is try to bring their fatigue down, and they can't really react. They could take reactions to run away, but that's it. So if they're engaged, they're kind of in trouble. And that pretty much goes over all the base mechanics. So I don't want to make this video too long for you, but that covers everything. Do you have any questions?
No, that's great. It's a great explanation, and I'm excited to see. Do you know when this comes out, or is it still?
So it's coming to Kickstarter in late April. We don't have an exact date yet. Worst case scenario, early May, but I don't think it'll go that late. But yeah, so you can check out firelockgames.com. We have an email sign up there. You can go to any of our Facebook, Instagram, Discord. We're on all the things. So we'll be announcing the launch and giving some more previews as we get closer.
Awesome. Thank you so much for showing us the demo.
No problem. Thanks for coming back.